Alright, we had a bit of a delay with that previous series, guys, but we are back in the old school Masters Coliseum fashion, where we just speed run, and there is no room for downtime. That means that it is time for our third series of the day. It's a big one. Top left side, Liquid's Cure, 2 wins, 1 loss in this tournament. Bottom right side, Serral, 2 wins and 1 loss in the tournament. Serral beat Reynor, lost to Maru, then beat Solar, I believe. Cure beat Trigger, lost to Dark, maybe? I don't know. He beat Trigger. I think he won a TVT, right? Did he beat Oliveira, maybe? I don't know. We have one barracks at home and the other barracks is on the other side of the map. So we have 2 Reapers hopping into the main, and Serral does not lose a drone yet because he's Serral, but I feel like it's almost inevitable that we lose a drone here. But Serral says, I am the inevitable. Cure says, nobody is inevitable, but did he kill that drone now in the end or not? There was one drone that was stacked up on other drones and was very low on HP, but I don't know if the Reaper fired at it. So I think that we saved all of them. Either we lost one or we saved all of them. It's one of the two. No betting. It's open, mate. Press F5. Cure 1 Trigger, lost to Dark, and 1 Classic. Alright, thank you, matey. I remember most of the results, but obviously with this many games, it is hard to remember everybody's run perfectly. You think he killed it? So you think 1 drone died? That means that not even Serral is inevitable. Today is not the same as every other day of the Masters Coliseum, where in the first 6 days we had only 4 best of 3s. Today we got 6 best of 3s. This is our third one of the day. And the highlight of my day is coming up after this, I believe. And that is Reynor versus MaxPax. An absolute banger. You'll be watching this on your TV. I hope it delivers. I think Serral historically has done very good against Cure. There was a tiny period where Cure wasn't a GSL champ yet, and he wasn't necessarily like held to the same standard as someone like Maru, but he actually got a couple wins over Reynor and Serral back then. Mostly with a lot of help at timings. He was a big believer in those. Cure, for some reason, just decided to peak the older he got. Just kept on getting better. Aged like fine wine. And these days, obviously, we all see him as one of the best Terrans in the world. But he is not very successful against the big Zergies out there. There's so much SC2 this week. I feel like there's been so much SC2 for the last few months. I can safely say, guys, that I don't think I've ever casted and watched as much StarCraft as I've done over the last 3 months. It's just non-stop with qualifiers, different tournaments, one off here, one off there. Obviously, we had a Home Surrey Cup in the beginning of December. We had Atlanta. Thanks, honey. Yes. And we've got Katowice coming up. We had a whole bunch of Katowice qualifiers. It's been crazy. You're cheering for your boy Reynor? That's fine. You are definitely allowed to cheer for Reynor. Just like you're allowed to cheer for MaxPax. Even if I have my preferences from time to time, everybody is always allowed to cheer for whoever they want to cheer for. As long as you do it in a respectful way. I don't like it when we shit talk the players. That's where I draw the line. You're always allowed to cheer for whoever you want to cheer for. That's completely okay. A couple of drones are dying to a Liberator, I assume. Looking at the way that those drones losses are gathered, I would say it's a Lib. I think at the 3rd base. Yep, there we go. 4 drone kills there. Buddy, who do you cheer for, Reynor or MaxPax? MaxPax, of course. What kind of a question is that? I'm kidding. No, I'm neutral. I just hope for great games, mate. I like it when Reynor wins. I'm made a better player win. On a personal level, of course, I'm a lot closer to Reynor than I am to MaxPax. But I do love the way that MaxPax plays, and he's a very nice kid. So, he made a better player win. Let's talk about Roddy and Clem. The obsession, mate. The obsession. Tiny Link Scout there by Serral as he was working on one of the SCVs. Cure has a series. I like the setup that Cure has here. With all these Reapers and Hellions on the left. Then we got the Liberator still being a nuisance in the natural. Is it actually not? It must be covering drones. Yeah, definitely covering drones. And we still have these Marines active too. Really cool opening here by Cure. And Sarah has obviously opted to go for a Roach opening. Roaches are not as quick as Zerglings, as we all know. And that means it is pretty hard to have units in all the right spots. Cure gets a very easy cancel on the 4th hatchery. Now goes forward, kills one of the Roaches that tried to become a Ravager. Does indeed seem that Cure kind of forgot about +1 armor. I'd rather forget about armor than attack, but yeah, in a perfect world, those upgrades would have been synced up. Serral's 4th base gets cancelled, and that's obviously never a lovely place to be. But he does queue up a couple of infestors. He's on 67 drones, which is fine if you only have 3 bases. But nobody wants to be on 67 drones forever. Good start by Cure here, guys. 8 minutes in. I don't think Cure can be very unhappy with how this has gone. I think he did very good with the lip. Getting a cancel, getting a few kills here and there. The Reaper opening wasn't too shabby. Macro has been very good for him at home. Cure is playing a good game. Is he getting a 2nd armory? I did not see that. If he did, I would say that that's a mistake. I highly doubt he wants to have 2 armories here. Once more, just to make sure that everybody knows what they are watching. Both players have 2 wins and 1 loss in the group. That means if you win here, you make it into the playoffs to join Maru, Hero, and Dark. If you lose here, you have another shot. But going 2-2 is scary. Especially if you think of the other players that are going to go 2-2. One of them is Beyond, the other one is Clem. So yeah, playing one of those guys with your tournament live on the line is obviously nothing that anybody looks forward to. Hive is close to finishing up. It always fascinates me how quick the hives are these days. There's nothing that we don't see often, so I'm not saying like, wow, this is the first time ever we see that hive being done at 9 minutes and 20 seconds, but it's just all so smooth these days. We used to think of hive as like something that kicks in at minute 12, 13, 14. A 9-minute hive is very common in this day and age. Who was the last Korean world champ? Was it Dark? Well, who won in 2020? Because Dark won in 2019. I don't think we had BlizzCon. I guess we have... No, I don't think Rogue won after Dark. I think in 2020 we had no World Championship, no? Rogue won versus Zaz, yeah, but he won Katowice, and that was before Katowice was officially the World Championship. There was no BlizzCon in 2020, but there was an IEM Katowice. But that was not the first year that Katowice was considered to be the World Championship. So, I guess in 2020 we didn't have an official World Champ. No, only in 2021 it was official, 2022 and 2023. Those were the 3 years, because we had a 3-year announcement for the EPT. Those are the 3 years that Katowice was the World Championship, so I guess it is Dark. Pongo connects with one of the medevacs, but good pickup there by Cure as the tanks are going to try to do their thing, but it is hard to attack into Vipers. Serral has a lot of minerals in the bank, not a crazy amount of gas. Cure thinks that there's a moment to go for it here, but he's basically becoming Demu over here. I mean, I guess there's 2 answers, guys, and we can all agree. It's either Dark or Rogue. If you want to make 2020 Katowice the unofficial official World Championship, then it's Rogue. If you say no, that was not the title already, then it's still Dark, right? Cure is doing his best here to break Serral, but it is incredibly difficult to break the Finnish Phenom. That has not been confirmed yet, Cherry Nomad. It has not even been confirmed that there is StarCraft at Game SA. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. That is what I said, but people really want to crown one for the year 2020 specifically. One of the lurkers gets picked off, the other ones get pushed back by all the tanks. Serral fires up 5 drop lords. Maybe we get a good old lurker invasion, or a link drop, or a combination of both. Some links and some lurkers. I think Cure is doing a very good job in making it very difficult for Serral to get up to this high ground, but I also don't think Serral is sweating it too much, where he's like, alright, well, I've got the center base, I can always take the bottom left. If you really don't want me to take the right side, then we don't take the right side. Who cares? Clearly some people do, because they were asking me. And if they ask me, I think it's fine to answer. 4 Vikings are ready. Good job here by Cure, guys. Preventing is better than curing. And he is going to prevent all of these units from making it into his main. +3 attack is about to finish up. Armor is obviously still trailing behind a little bit because +1 armor was late. But overall, things looking good for Cure. Defensively, Cure is obviously very good in the late game too, but I don't look at Cure the same way as I look at like Maru or Clem, where I'm like, you give them 3-3, ghost, a bunch of bases, sensor towers, and they are invincible. I think Serral can win this. No. Liquid prevent. I didn't actually do that on purpose. It is just a Dutch saying. I just realized what I said. It's kind of funny because his name is Cure, but that's not what I was going for, guys, believe it or not. As the planetary fortress gets attacked by lurkers, lynx, roaches, ravages, and a couple of hydras. And that is a nice pickup for Serral, but obviously Cure has money in the bank. Should be able to push this back with the ghost. But yeah, there is a saying in Dutch that goes, voorkomen is beter dan genezen. Is that what we say? Something like that. Whatever. Basically means that it's better to prevent something from happening than trying to fix it afterwards, trying to cure it. But that's funny because his name is Liquid Cure, but I didn't even think about that when I said it. Voorkomen is beter dan genezen, yeah. And genezen is the Dutch word for curing or cure. I said something clever by accident. Happens very often, guys. As we have a safety planetary here, but Serral is not going to be discouraged from attacking into this location. A PF or no PF. Now the PF is definitely putting a number on some of these roaches and shooting at the lurker for a while, but Serral still gets it. Takes out the PF, forces the orbital to move, and at the same time we've got lurkers doing their thing. It is crazy how long these lurkers are alive and can stay aggressive against this many ghosts, right? It does feel that Maru and Clem are a bit more active in punishing Zergs. From once lurkers are here, it's like, oh, okay, you've got a bunch of lurkers here, they move their ghosts forward, peel, 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 they all die. Cure seems to struggle with that a tiny bit more. He's relying more on the tank defense than he believes in the ghost. Yeah, I believe you need a lot of hotkeys for them, right, Arabic Throne? I think that's what they say in the Twitch streams. That you need a lot of different hotkeys for the ability to control all these ghosts. Serral is slowly starting to impose his will on Cure, as it was earlier Cure kind of soft-containing Serral. It is now Serral who's starting to contain Cure as the Vipers show up as well, and the double duct on the ghosts. 2 ghosts will fall. Cure is building 4 Liberators at a time. I am not sure if we have advanced ballistics or not. For Cure's sake, I hope he does. So all of a sudden the sounds are gone from my stream. That is not on me, guys. I am just watching a clean feed. We have the medevac upgrade on the way as well, in case you guys are wondering what's happening there on the production tab. That is the Neo upgrade that gives Medevac a bit more energy or quicker regen, whatever it is. Not something that really comes into play early game, but in the late game it really does not hurt to have it. Don't want to see your Medevacs run out of energy. Burrow is going to finish up 10 seconds from now. Yeah, Serral for the first time is going to add in a lot of Banelings. We're going to kick things off with 25 and we'll take it from there. I mean, a 5 base Terran can definitely survive for a very, very long time. Serral is getting a Nidus in the bottom left side. This is something that he did against Cure once in a WTL match, where we played on that map called Dragon Skills. And he would just keep on taking bases in the corner. Whenever Cure would attack it, he would put the drones back in the Nidus, and then he would just hop it out elsewhere. So he would still be able to mine a bit of these bases. Serral has not found the red dot, guys. Serral does not find the red dot. That is minus 10 drones. Don't want to go too crazy over it, because it's just 10 workers, where Serral has 7,400 minerals in the bank. But hey, a nuke is a nuke, baby. It is confirmed, guys. Serral is not a cat. Nidus attempt in the natural. I'm surprised that he unloads any units with this many Terran units nearby, as Cure is going to get on top of the right side, and there you guys can see there's a Nidus there as well. Serral does this, so whenever he has drones there, he can still mine from the base, but then he can... Ooh, he's actually going to also try to defend it. That's pretty sick. I don't think Cure expected that. I didn't expect it. There's another nuke is going to go off in the bottom left side. More drones dying. No, not this time. Well, maybe a couple. But Serral does find this one, and also finds the ghost immediately. Really cool move with the Nidus there, not just to evacuate the drones, but also to get a couple of infestors and lurkers out. You're still going to battle over it. This game is getting pretty hectic. And a lot of Nidus networks coming online. That does look like advanced ballistics, by the way. Is Clem out? No, Clem is not out. But Clem needs to win the next best of 3 that he will not play today, but maybe tomorrow or the following day. Actually, has not been confirmed yet when that play day is. Or maybe it has been confirmed and I just don't know and Wikipedia doesn't tell me. It's one of the two. Justice reigns from above, but there is no justice to rain down at this point. That hatch will get taken out and Cure is going to be able to get his hands on that coveted 6th base. Starting to look like we're in for a long one. Yona definitely likes to take his time, when he plays StarCraft 2. You've got these Zergs where all hell breaks loose and it's fight here, fight there. I kind of feel that if I'm sometimes watching Clem against Reynor, it feels like I'm driving a Ferrari or an Audi S7 on German Autobahn. And then if I'm watching Serral play, it's kind of like I'm in a plane. But we're on the strip. We are waiting. We're firing up the engines. And then we slowly start going. And eventually we'll get really fast. But it takes a little while. Serral is a Cadillac? No, Serral is a Boeing 747. The queen of the skies. The queen of our video game. Meanwhile, Reynor and Serral are just... Or Reynor and Clem are just 2 young kids. They're sending it on the Autobahn with their tuned little... Audis and Hondas and BMWs. Lurkers are annoying in the top right side, but Cure should be able to take care of it eventually. I love this. The 3 Ravager hit squad, finding a couple of Liberators actually, that are trying to keep the original triangle base safe, but... I think Serral is starting to get a tiny bit frustrated. As obviously he had a rough start to the game, had a strong early mid game, but Cure is also really taking his time and is just saying like, I'm not in any hurry here. 1 base at a time is all I need. And as long as I can make sure that you're not out mining out my bases, I don't care how big your bank is, I don't care how quickly you mine out your side of the map. I will eventually get rid of all my SCVs and have 200 supply of Liberator, Viking, Ghost, Marine, Marauder, Medevac. I think Serral's starting to get a tiny bit concerned. I don't hate it if Serral will step up the aggression a little bit. I know it's not easy, but we have a bank. Let's put that bank to good use. Some of the fights may not be the prettiest, but we need to do something. And you can see Serral already being a bit more active with the Corruptors this time around. Getting on top of a decent amount of these lips. That's nice. Needs more of that. 8 bases on this map versus a 4 base Terran. It was a very, very hard win. I wouldn't take him too serious, Reynor. I snapped at him yesterday, as a bunch of guns do die to the Banelings, but Cure obviously has planetaries and lips and tanks and ghosts for days. You know, it wouldn't be a Roddy stream if I don't occasionally go off on a viewer that annoys me a little after 5 hours of streaming. Yesterday, that man in my sights was Baka Stormgate. He was very quiet for the rest of that stream, but today he's back, baby. I feel like he's trying to push some buttons again. But at the moment, he's pushing Reynor's buttons. When I shout at people, sometimes I do feel bad. But then if I see them misbehave again, I'm like, I knew I was right. They deserved it. I would never shout at you, Tribal GG. I know you're a sweet man. Banes and Corruptors on the top right side of the map are going to get on top of the planetary, but the Liberators and missile turrets will keep the base safe. Serral obviously is really trying. We're going to get a bunch of Ultras for the first time. 5 of them at once. His kindness plating is close to finishing up. Roddy's like an abusive friend, we just keep on coming back. But that, my friend, is bullshit. I think I'm a very sweet man. And if you're not a dick to me, I will never be a dick to you. I do not believe that in all these years I have randomly been a dick to anyone. Sometimes I have handled situations poorly, because I am a human. Sometimes I'm a bit too mean to people if they don't truly deserve it when there's a misunderstanding. I am not randomly abusive. And the parasitic bomb does land on Liberators. You're joking? I'm sensitive, okay. The lip with Parabomb goes back to the other lips and actually deals a little bit of damage. I'm worried for Serral here, guys. It's 147 supply of the Terran Dream. The Terran machine is firing on all cylinders, and it is Parabomb after Parabomb that is taking out a couple of lips. But Cure has enough income to replace these Liberators over and over again. Serral needs to start killing these goals. This is a very important fight in this game. The baiting count is high. We've got Ultras in the mix as well. And the Ghosts are running for hills, and this is the kind of fight that Serral has been waiting for. That was amazing. That went so good. A lot of the lips obviously low in HP because of all the parabombs. The crazy amount of banelings suddenly showing up. Ultras in the mix for the very first time. As the WTL Observer is showing us, that's where they came from. I know how babies are made, sir. I know how Ultras are made as well. A fantastic fight for Serral. Can we now go pedal to the metal? Keep on sending it. Can we go for a full send? I don't think that Serral is going to slow down. I think he will keep on going. He obviously knows that he took out a lot of army supply there. And he's going to take a little look at his army and says, I want a piece of that. I've killed some ghosts. I want to kill way more ghosts. I love the mix with the Corruptors too, man. Corruptors doing a very good job. This maybe is a little bit harder to go up that ramp as we have a bunch of changelings being dropped as well. Ultras are being sniped and the banelings don't really connect with the ghosts this time around. But hey, at least Serral has dropped Cure all the way down to 94 army supply. And at this point we are just looking at a whole bunch of low HP bio as this base is up and running. Kind of nice to have a hatchery here. Serral is afraid of that low HP bio army, I'm surprised. Yona, the helmet Zerg guys, 199 supply. See 7 Marines with 1 leg and 3 Marauders that are missing an arm. And Serral's like, I'm evacuating that base. I don't want any of that smoke, sir. I was like, I don't think that was really needed. But okay. It is sometimes better to be safe than sorry. The orbital does die. In the end, it is not Cure killing that hatchery, but it is Serral killing an orbital. And Serral is probably out for more. Could maybe use caustic spray. Now, this is a bit more of an intimidating army, but there is no Nidus there. Actually, there was, but all the drones just died immediately. Serral is going to try to take out the starports, but that is a little bit difficult. Good job here by Cure, at least taking out the base and showing us there is a bit of fight in him left. As he's gonna try to get the Dream Terran army one more time. He's back up to 98 army supply. This planetary though is going to fall against all these Lings and the Banes, even though the Banes honestly got targeted down by the PF and barely did damage. Ghosts make ultra useless smiley face. Or frowny face. You're right, mate. Those ultras look terrible on the bottom right side. In the game where both players were maxed out forever, those ultras, guys, when they showed up, no impact at all. They did nothing. Useless unit. I feel like you're just trying to find a way to rain his heart. If you just say enough weird stuff out there, you're like, man, the ghosts are so good. They make everything that Zerg has useless. Reynor is like my man, and you're like, did Reynor see that? Is he agreeing with me? As Lings, Ultras, and Banes are going to try to get a wraparound on this army, that's not quite going to work. But what Serral does do is take out that planetary fortress or command center again. A nuke has landed on the left side, but the drones were evacuated. And Cure again gets dropped to 127 supply this time around. We have some infested. I think the missile turret. Wow, that's so close, by the way. With the missile turret revealing those infested. I'm surprised that it doesn't, to be completely honest. I know, Multi, it's crazy. I need Japan to make a comeback, but I'm starting to believe that it's not happening. As 12 drones have died, Lings, Ultras, Vipers in the mix. This is obviously an army that Cure cannot really afford to lose, cannot afford to rebuild, but this army is not good enough to wipe the floor with everything that Serral is bringing here. We have Overseers, we have still a Burrowed Infestor as well. Look at these useless Ultras go, guys. They just don't do anything. As Cure makes a sad face as he realizes that after 29 minutes it is over. And the great Iona Sotala takes the 1-0 lead. Well done. Was not necessarily an easy game. At one point it really looked like Cure had a lot of things going for himself. But I think this is also a perfect game to look at. And the next time that you guys are molding, when Maru or Clem just looks invincible and it looks like they cannot lose, Cure is a world-class Terran too, and you guys can see that you can still lose games like this. And of course, you can say that Serral is amazing, and it's because it's Serral, or because Cure is not as good as those guys, but Cure is really, 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 really good. And Terran can still lose. Which just goes to show that what Clem and Maru do, it may look easy, but it's not easy. Yeah, that's kind of true. What I love about Cure's camera is that Cure is just like stone cold, and then eventually after 29 minutes he kind of has like a sad, frowny, cheeky, naughty face where he's like, I guess I'm dead. And then he goes serious mode again, and then he leaves and we get ready for the next one. It's actually an adorable face. I love it. And game 2 between these two gamers will be played on Solaris. Will we welcome our first non-South Korean player into the playoffs of the Masters Coliseum 7? And will that guy be the great Iona Sotala, who's rocking the Basilisk hoodie? I'm sure it's cold in Finland. Whenever there is a tiny bit of snow in the Netherlands, I always assume there are mountains of snow in Sweden and Finland. And we have a tiny bit. Here we go, round 2.
Round 2, fight!
Top right side, the main base of Team Liquid's Cure. Bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who's one map away from making it into the top 8. The great Iona Sotala. It is time for our daily tiny lag spike, but it's all good. It is mountains of snow, Therese. Hey, hey. Does your puppy like snow? I feel like some dogs really like snow, where they just go crazy, they start jumping around and they have so much fun. And then some dogs just look disgusted by snow, where they're just like, I don't want to go out. It's too cold. Keep me inside. He loves it? Okay, let's go. Even though Akitas are supposed to be dogs that can live in very cold environments, and obviously they can. I feel like my last Akita Kayas, he didn't really love it. So he wasn't too bothered by it, but I just didn't. I don't think that she liked the way that it felt on her paws. She always looked a little bit uncomfortable whenever it was snowing. Hello, Mag. Yeah, huskies. Can imagine. Sturmgod has analysis for us, and this is where I lean back and full focus on Twitch chat. The difference is, both Clem and Maru simply don't ever give Yona the breathing room to execute these well-coordinated attacks. Their positioning and multiprong is on another level compared to what Cure is showing. I'm not sure if it's that black and white, but I can see what you're trying to say. But it's obviously always a dance, right? Cure is doing stuff, but Serral's doing stuff. And even if Cure wants to do stuff, Serral's going to try to prevent that stuff. And they just one up each other. And that's why sometimes you have very one-sided games where one player just gets a massive victory early on and it's over. And once in a while you have a game like Reynor and Clemhead on Heartlet in the WTL Codas playoffs, where it's just non-stop fireworks for 20 minutes straight with two guys trying to outmaneuver each other. Maru has indeed suffered a lot of defeats from Serral. Well, of course, Maru did win against Serral in this tournament. That is something we have to acknowledge. I feel like the stream is a bit more blurry now than it was before. But I also don't want things to lag. You can see a Baneling boss coming. I'm not sure about that. I feel like Serral is not too big on the Baneling boss in this matchup, but okay. We'll keep an eye on it for you, sir. Thank you for sharing that with me, big game. Can they stop? The YouTube link, guys. YouTube is struggling. Screen goes black twice and higher quality, lower quality. I might switch over to Twitch if this keeps on happening, but I apologize for that stuff. There's nothing I can do. I am not allowed to join the games. Damn it, not during Serral Cure, please. Something is happening. I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna go to 720 for a bit, guys. It's probably because it was set to auto. So this is not 1080, it is 720, but this is the best way to put it. I think that's a little too dramatic, Manili Fly flow, and also very negative. These guys have been absolutely fantastic for StarCraft. They do so much for us. And of course, there are some technical difficulties sometimes with the clean feed. But to say that they are shit in general when we've watched like 40 hours of streaming without a single problem, I think that goes a bit too far. I did force 1080 and that's when it was going high, low, high, low, high, low. So I don't want to keep on doing that. Feels like a Wings of Liberty stream now. I'll try 1080. If we keep on lagging, it's on you guys. This doesn't look like 1080, by the way. No, it does. I think 720 is the safer option for now, but it's okay. I feel like you've been here for enough times, Manu to Fly, that you've seen plenty of streams where everything works perfectly. And I agree there have been some issues sometimes, and it can be a tiny bit frustrating, but as long as it's not like non-stop lag and 120 pixels, I'm just happy, man. It's amazing for these players that they have this much prize money to compete over. It's amazing for all of us that we can watch high-level StarCraft every single day, that we have a great team league. These guys are also doing their best. It's not easy to run streams from China and then cater towards a Western audience and make that service perfect. Don't forget, they are not obligated to do this at all. They can also just say, F you guys, no YouTube, no Twitch. Go watch this on whatever streaming service they use in China. And I think we're all happy that it's not the case. So let's at least appreciate what they do. And obviously, sometimes it's not perfect. I feel like more often than not, it is pretty perfect. As we have Lings and Roaches diving on the Hellions and the Cyclone. Whatever Cure had in mind here, guys, it did not work out. Serral has a 17 worker lead, and he does not struggle with those units at all. Cure also casually sitting on 1,000 minerals there. I felt like that was a little too much. Not the start that Cure has in mind, guys. Look at that worker gap. It's been a little while since I've seen a Zerg be this many workers ahead this early into a game. 22 there for a split second. It's time for Cure to do something about it, and maybe this double drop can be the beginning of a comeback. Serral is going to spot it with his spotting overlord, and he's going to pull the drones away immediately. Didn't pull them super far away, so maybe the Marines can still grab a couple. But the Roaches and Queens are here. We do have Triple Reaper and a Hellion. Alright, this is the kind of stuff that Cure was looking for, guys. Finds 4 drones, a lot of lost mining time. The Marines still battling in the main, and I don't really hate it. Where are Serral his extra units? Maybe that 22 worker lead was a little bit too much. It's just a few roaches short here. Especially without roach speed, it is incredibly difficult to have units in all the right places. Now Serral's making a sad face as he's very unhappy. Grenades go down, more drones will fall. Saves a couple of the lowest speed drones. 13 going down though. That's a serious number, guys. And I believe there was a cancel on the hatch as well. A game that didn't look very promising after those Cyclones got surrounded, all of a sudden looks pretty damn sweet for Cure. I think Cure is very happy, Daffy. I don't think he was very happy at first. I think he's buzzing right now, mate. Or whatever the kids would say. Serral's still smiling. Now, Serral had the kind of smile where he realizes that the stuff went wrong for a split second there. Serral did the Whenever that happens, Serral knows that he's taking a little too much damage. Well, obviously, Yona is a warrior. He's a fighter, and he's going to try to turn things around. Like my mug? Which one is this? It's Bulgaria. My Bulgarian mug. Pongo will land on the Marines. Second Pongo goes down as well. I still think we can pick up a couple of these Marines. 8 drones died there, by the way. Great target firing. I wasn't really focused on the amount of drones dying, but that went real quick. Serral in a bit of a pickle here in game 2 of a Solaris. But Yona is incredibly good in hanging in there and turning things around. You came to Bulgaria? Yes, I was in Bulgaria a couple months ago. And I actually got recognized in a park. I was just doing my thing on one of these lime steps going around. There was some sweaty dude with earbuds and he takes him out. He's like, RotterdaM? I was like, yeah. He's like, in Bulgaria? What are you doing here? I was like, I'm chilling, mate. That's cool. I felt famous. You missed me? I actually met up with a whole bunch of other guys on 2 different evenings. We went to Happy Bulgaria. I posted some pics on Instagram and I had other Bulgarians reach out. Come have a cocktail. So I met a bunch of StarCraft nerds. It was very cool. Never met those guys before, but they were all very nice. Roaches and Ravagers trying to keep that center base safe. Infestors are waiting for their opportunity to land a big fungal. Serral's army supply looks pretty good now, but fighting on the edge of creep, off creep is never something that really sparks a whole lot of joy for the Zergies. Serral's still gonna try though. That's a tiny roach counterattack. Don't hate it. Solid 10 roaches, 11, 12. Love that eBay temporarily there by Cure to keep those roaches out. Look at Serral, he's moving his roaches around like they're lynx. As he's now going to try to see if there's an opening on the third base. Cure once again slacking a little bit on those upgrades. Has 1 tank on the high ground there, guys, but that tank is not safe. Or not sieged, rather. It is definitely saved, but it is not sieged. This one, Cure is probably wondering, how many freaking roaches do you have? And Serral says yes. Cure's like, that's not a number. Serral says yes again. Adreno Glance gets fired up in an 11-minute game. As there was 1 tank there on top of the depot. That one gets picked up as well. More roaches battling Marines and a Marauder in the triangle. Is that tank still not sieged in the main, or is it just moved? Serral's doing pretty good here, and he also feels that this is the moment to go for some of these tanks in the center. Lands a fungal on the Marines. It's amazing what Serral's doing here, guys, with just roaches. And obviously they have +2 missile attacks and +2 carapace. Still not really supposed to happen. Kudos to Serral. Now is he winning the game yet? That I really don't know. He's down in workers. He does have a very rich Vespian, guys. And upgrades look good. Vipers on the way looks good. I'd say that he could still be in some trouble, but I am impressed. Reynor says, Yona is so sick. Dead? I don't know. Are you calling him your dad? What's happening here? What is the DID about? DAD. What is the dad? What is the uncle? I am not a dad. You got a problem with that? Absolutely not, mate. You call Yona however you want to call him. I've got no issues with you calling him dad. Couple of Marines and a single Marauder stim forward. But Serral has units in the right position. That was absolutely beautiful roach movement for a while. It just feels that you have such a clumsy army as the Zerg and you're supposed to just sit there, take a fight and die. Serral finds a way to create some chaos and buy a lot of time for himself to get a much better army out later on. Now he's not out of the woods yet. This is still a terrifying Terran army. Serral's gonna try to create more chaos. That is a lot of army supply though. And I was wondering if Kure maybe just says, F it, I will finally attack that base in the center of the map. He thought about it, but then he said, nope, I want to save my planetary, and now we're back. And we're gonna once more battle over this rich Vespian, guys. Double parabomb goes, hey, show us! Because I actually think that Transfuse saved the Viper as well. So Kure just lost 4 Vikings trying to kill 1 Viper. There's another tiny fungal lands on a couple of the buy units, but that's not a ramp that Serral can really go up yet. Tanks does fall. Serral is honestly playing a super impressive game because we know that Serral is amazing when he's ahead or when he has a normal start and he just takes the game by its horns. In this game he was in trouble and he might still be in trouble, but I'm very impressed by the last few minutes that Serral is showing us. Kure does see this army a tiny bit before Serral sees his army, but at the same time Serral is going to try to dive in that army, kills the ghost as well. Look at these roaches, the Ravagers, they burrowed in faster, they can unburrow and land the fungal, but he doesn't want to do it yet. He's got one more infestor on the bottom left side, so much energy on these. Fungals do land. What a game, what a performance by Serral. He has no overseer here, that is painful. Maybe he had some overseers, but they got sniped. Just like that Viper gets sniped. Fun game, really cool ZVT. Only 14 minutes, but so many beautiful things have happened. If Serral wins it, he will enter the playoffs. We can finally say hello to a non-Korean in the playoffs. South Korea region is making a bit of a comeback, eh guys? They're pretty good at StarCraft. After years and years of Europe dominance, the nation of South Korea is back. Abduct is going to land on one of the medevacs, and that one was carrying some precious cargo. We have a burrowed Zergling here that's going to delay that command center from landing for a bit. Serral is maxed out, has a pretty decent army at this point, and I wouldn't hate it if he keeps on attacking. As Kure is now working on +3 armor. I actually don't know if he ever... Yeah, he has +3 attack. He has +2 vehicle weapons as well. I know, Multi. We're in shambles. After a great second day. What was it? After a great Thursday. A rough start to the Friday. It's all good. Many great games to go. We'll be fine. A couple of ducks have landed as we have Lynx, Hydras and Banes getting on top of the triangle base of Kure. 8 SCVs die very quickly. Serral is still maxed out, still has money in the bank. 2 full medevacs is indeed painful, but if Kure can get his hands on that center base with the rich Vespian guys, obviously there is still a lot to be very hopeful of for him. 106 army supply against 110. Been a beautiful action-packed game so far. I kind of hope it stays that way. It'd be a bit of a shame if we now enter 10 minutes of sensor towers and just looking at each other and pew 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 pew. I would not be a fan of that. I'd love to see Serral just continue to try to make stuff happen the way that he has been making stuff happen. And that is not easy, but he is going to try. If he can get on top of this planetary fortress, Banes will crash into it and he takes out another base. A couple of Hydras do get picked off. Love a few links, maybe in the bottom right side, that'd be cool. Because that is an orbital, guys. Sharking Infestor, looking for a fungal, but it gets scanned. Great scan there by Cure. That is a big scan, because a fungal could have been devastating. We do have parasitic bombs going down in the middle of all these medevacs. Not the fight for Yona after he was not able to land that fungal. Katowice is the second most prestigious tournament of the year, Jack, you mad, and the most prestigious tournament of the year will still be the World Championship, and that will be announced in the near future. It could be anywhere. It could literally be anywhere. They will let us know soon. But once it's announced, you'll know that that's the one that is considered to be the most prestigious. We're still hoping for Macau, Maldives or Vegas, but there are some other front runners, I believe. Banings are going to try their luck again, but Cure's micro has been pretty good in these last few fights. Even though he doesn't have much of a bank, there is a Sharking Infestor, but it gets blown up by that missile turret that will grant detection to these tanks. How about Bulgaria? The World Championships of StarCraft 2 in Sunny Beach? Or Burgas? Or Varna? Yeah, why not? I can see it. Reynor with a cocktail on his hand, becoming the world champ. Could be fun. Plovdiv. Don't know about that. These were the links that I was mentioning earlier, guys. Great little run by here by Serral. I also love how he just leaves one link behind, burrows it underneath the orbital. Maybe we can land the fungal now, as that Infestor is sharking. It's staying out of radius. It's a shame that these rocks are still on, by the way. How about Singapore or Bali? I love it, mate. I do believe we go to a sunny place. All the medevacs took a lot of damage there. Maybe we landed the fungal? How about Vladivostok? A little far away. How about Irkutsk or Novosibirsk? A little difficult to travel there at the moment, but hey. More lanes running into the triangle. I think it's too cold there, guys. I believe we go to a warm place. So, Maldives, Macau, Vegas, all of it is still a possibility. Orbital very low in HP as 10 SCVs have died. Those tanks are getting some big shots up in the center of the map. Serral's bank is a lot bigger than Cure's bank, but obviously Cure is starting to work towards a terrifying army with a whole bunch of tanks, ghosts. We have liberators. There was World Cyber Games once in Singapore, Providence. World Cyber Games like 2004 or something. I was very sad when I lost in the Dutch qualifier. I did my best. It was a dream to go to Singapore. I lost to a Night Elf player. That's absolutely unbelievable. I did qualify the following year. They also had it at Monza, the F1 circuit. It was Singapore, Monza, then Seattle. And we had one in Cologne. No, it was not Grubby. Dutch guy called Zerker. After that, I pretty much always started beating him, but that loss was painful. Grubby did win the qualifier, obviously. Isn't that the event that Tasteless talked his way into his first casting gig? I think that story is mostly about Tasteless covering the American qualifiers for the World Cyber Games. I don't think it was the actual World Cyber Games. I think it started off with the American qualifiers and then maybe he went to the global one as well. Six Broodlords on the way now for Serral as he's showing us the full Zerg arsenal, as we have some full HP Vipers here and there are a couple of ghosts in the mix that are also full on HP. An EMP would be painful. EMPs have not been thrown out yet. Really, Ron? That's amazing. I was there too in Almere. There's a couple of Brood Lords will fly forward, so these tanks will die. It's the only time in my life that I've ever gone to Almere. I think. I believe that's where that qualifier was. Hatchery dies. 12 drones that fall. Pew pew. Not a Ling run, but I'd love to see how many SCVs have fallen in this game, because I feel like Serral has done a very good job in picking up SCVs. Might be able to grab a couple of these tanks. Building a command center on location, I think, is a little bit ambitious at the moment. Game 1 was 29 minutes. Game 2 is 22 minutes. These guys are really battling. Can you get the World Championships to go to Oklahoma? I think that's a very tough sell, mate. ENIAC would be very happy with that, but I don't think anybody else is incredibly eager to go to Oklahoma. I'd rather go to Arkansas. And we can pray that we won't see too many live raiders and ghosts. Serral has 138 army supply. Cure is at 151. Cure does not have much of a bank, but he's kind of been in this spot for a long time. Cure has the kind of army that can take a big win, but obviously Serral, maybe with the acceleration zones as well, can also take a great fight. Did we land some blinding clouds? I do believe so. There are Thors coming in from the top right. Can the Broodlords take out the Thors? I think so. Vipers is still in the back. Infestus. We need some ground units though for Serral, otherwise the Broodlords could be in trouble. Nice Pongo on the Ghost. Do we have more where that is coming from? Where's the Overseer? Where is the Overseer? Not again! Why do they always die? Why do the Overseers always die? But it might still be good enough. Ghosts do not live forever. I still don't see one. But the Ghost is just going to run out of energy after they use the sniper a whole bunch. Now 4 Overseers come in. Cheers, love. A little bit late. 2 Vikings and the Liberator trying to chase down these Broodlords, but Serral has a couple of Hydras on the ground and has rebuilt 50 or so Zerglings. Serral comes out of that with a pretty hefty supply lead, but obviously spent most of his money too. Is it now good enough to potentially get Cure out of this game once and for all? Great spellcasting there with some nice spawn goals. Obviously the Vipers doing their thing and the Broodlord positioning was very sweet for a while, until we lost our Overseers. But then the Ghosts kept on sniping and they were revealed again. It should be GG. This is the 3rd of 6 series today, guys, in the Masters Coliseum. Next up is my personal favorite of the day, between 2 players that have 2 wins and 1 loss. Reynor and MaxPax. Cure has played good, but he is once more showing us that it's really not that easy to play late game TVZ. And I don't even think that Cure made like a lot of big arrows. It just felt that Yona played incredibly well, especially when he was on the ropes. I thought the roach movement was a work of art, an absolute beauty. The transitions have been very sweet. Thank you to Mavs for the Twitch Prime. Orbital is going on fire and the Orbital will fall. And that is obviously detrimental to the economy of Cure. Keep your eyes on the camera of Cure, guys, because I think he's about to make not necessarily the same face. He tilts his head a little bit and he knows that it is all over. GG. What a performance by Serral, who is either a statue or just incredibly quick in disconnecting the zoom. He's like, you guys will not see how I celebrate. GG. Serral wins 2-0, and that means that Serral will advance into the playoffs of the Masters Coliseum 7. Cure is going to have to try his luck on the final playday against maybe Clem, maybe Bjorn, as those guys have 2 wins and 2 losses as well. 56% of y'all thought this was going to be a 2-0, and it is. Complete prediction. I don't know yet who Clem is going to play. I'm sure they will reveal that to us at the end of the broadcast. Next up, guys, in my eyes, the coolest series of today in the Masters Coliseum. Reynor versus MaxPax, best of 3. Both are 2-1 at the moment. So the winner makes it into the playoffs. The loser drops to 2-2 and will most likely play against the Terran player with the tournament live on the line. We'll go for a two-way prediction this time around. Reynor or Max Specs? I'm very curious what you guys will vote for. I'll give you guys 15 minutes. I have no idea why, because I think we're going to start early. But maybe the casters of the WTL need a tiny bit of a break. Is Max Specs Bulgarian? Yes, actually. Well, rumor has it that he has a Lithuanian mom and a Kazakhstani dad. However, he lived in Denmark for a while, speaks Danish, but now he became Bulgarian. Max Specs, the Bulgarian guys. Coming up against Reynor, who is Spanish, by the way. Portuguese mom, Brazilian dad, Reynor is Spanish. See you guys real soon, couple minutes. Max Specs is Danish, mate. And Reynor is Italian.